Happy birthday, Libra, and happy Halloween. Welcome to your October 2021 astrological forecast. So, you're all lit up now. The sun is in your sign, your first house. Mercury has been in your sign since last month and actually turned retrograde on September 27th and is in retrograde motion up until the 18th of this month, okay, when it turns direct. And Mars is still in your sign up until the 29th, and there's a new moon in your sign on the 6th. So all this stuff is happening in your first house. So, you know, even with Venus being in like Scorpio right now, up until the 6th, in your second house where you have the sign of Scorpio, you still have like all of these planets in your first house that are making you very popular and very appealing. You are the center of attention, and not just because it's your birthday. But, you know, you have an awful lot going on here, especially with Mars. Mars in your first house, okay? Because Mars only transits each zodiac sign about every other year. So I'm sure I mentioned this last month that Mars is like the time that you usually you know, I don't know, put out this vibe or whatever of your will, you know, what it is you will these things to be, okay? Mars is the ego planet, and you want attention at this time, acknowledgement, you know, for either even just being the kind of person that you are, you know, your personality, or some things that you've done in your life that are pretty big deal, you know. But I always say, I'm sure I probably said it last month, but I can't remember. I'd have to go play back that video. But Mars is usually when you have to like remind people what their lives would be like without you in it. Okay, so again, it's the ego planet. You know, if somebody that is in your life, and usually it's family, it's people that are close to you, that are probably getting on your nerves in one way or another, somewhere down the line. And that they like take you for granted. So, you know, this is the time that you let them know that that can't be done anymore. You know, you take steps to fix things in your life and put them the way you want them to be. Not the way, you may have done that the last time Mars was in your first house or in your sign, okay? But, you know, people have a way of undoing all your good work or putting things the way they want them to be. So this is your opportunity, again, with all these other planets in your sign, especially that new moon on the 6th, okay? If there is something that you want done in your life and you want it done a certain way, and even if it's just getting people to treat you the way you want to be treated, okay? Even if it's just like respect or something, this would be the day to really do it on. You know, make that the new moon brings new beginnings. So you could be starting even like with new people that you meet or that may come into your life at this time. They don't know anything about your past. You know, the only thing they know about you is what you tell them. So they're experiencing you on like a newness kind of level. You know, you don't have like all that baggage for them to even, you know, pick through and find out more about you. You know, maybe they're just open to just knowing you the way you present yourself. And that's kind of like what these new moons in a way do. It starts your whole new year. You know, it's a whole new year for you. You know, there's a full moon in your opposite sign of Aries, on the 20th, where you have Aries in your chart as your 7th house of close relationships and partnerships. So the new you that's coming out around, you know, the 6th, or new steps or new move of some kind that you're doing, by the time this full moon comes along on the 20th, you know, one of your close relationships might not really care for everything that you're doing, you know, or how you want things to be. And that's, you know, that's when these things come out. That's what full moons are for. It brings issues to the surface where they can be discussed, okay, and dealt with and then done away with. And that's what would more or less happen. When Mars is in your sign, you know, you are your own person, period. It doesn't matter what zodiac sign it is the planet. The planet does this. It brings enthusiasm and physical activity. It makes you physically energetic. You know, maybe you haven't been feeling like doing anything and all of a sudden you're up exercising or running or riding a bike or doing dancing, even something, some kind of physical movement. But again, it's also, you know, the time where if you've been putting up with anything, no matter how small, that you'll put a stop to it right now. Okay, so that's what that full moon is from. If there's something like that going on in one of your close relationships, and this is 7th house, is romantic or partner or business partner or close friend. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So the sun moves into Scorpio on the 23rd, Mars moves into Scorpio on the 30th, and you have Venus here up until the 6th, but then it will move into Sagittarius on the 7th and stay in Sagittarius till the end of the month. So you have planets, though, moving into your 2nd house of income or investments that you have, things that you value. It could be like, you know, stocks and bonds and stuff like that, those kind of investments, but luxury items that you value, that you own. Okay, but it's also your personal values and your own self-worth, your feeling of self-worth. And so that's what Mars was doing when it was in your sign, in your 1st house. Okay, now it's in your 2nd house, and you're just like putting the finishing touches on any kind of changes you might have made. You know, like 2nd house is earned income, how you earn your money. Even if you're retired, you still have money coming in somewhere or other, or, you know, you need something to live on. Okay, so if something like that isn't going well right now, you'll do whatever you can to change that too. Change the way your money's coming in or how much. If you are still working, if you're employed and whatever, you would really be trying to increase your income or find a new source of some kind. You know, your 6th house where you have Neptune transiting, it's still retrograde in Pisces. That's a sign that you have on the 6th house. I've mentioned many times here that there could possibly be something very shady going on where you work, something shady about the company you work for, or a co-worker or a boss or something like that. I always say it's a front for another kind of business, you know. Who knows, you know, so I mean, you could be aware of this. If you weren't, you could actually be finding these things out right now. I don't think you're into blackmail, you know, but it could help you in some way or other, you know. I mean, you don't have to mention this, but maybe it's a suspicion that you are aware of what's going on in the workplace. So maybe you will get an increase in your income for that reason alone, you know. Who knows what is going on there, okay? And I've also mentioned, though, too, that the 6th house is the house of health. And with this planet even being retrograde, you know, maybe finally someone is able to diagnose something that nobody could diagnose. Nobody could figure out what was going on with you. Okay, a lot of times there's something in the workplace, if you're actually physically in there, that's making you ill. It could be an allergic reaction. Usually with Neptune in the 6th house, it denotes an allergic reaction, even to prescribed medication. Okay, so it could even be something like that you've been taking all along, you know, and you had no idea it would be giving you any kind of symptoms. But anyway, so as far as having Mars and the sun and everything in your 2nd house, there is possibly just some way of bringing in a new source of income or increasing yours in some way or other, though I don't see a raise really coming in here. it could be something dealing with other people's resources and money, just because the second house is directly across from the eighth house, where you have the sign of Taurus, and the planet Uranus is in Taurus right now. So you're always going to have, while this planet is here, very sudden and unexpected occurrences within, like other people's money or resources. This is the house of legacies and inheritances and things, money coming to you through means other than earning it. So you could be on the receiving end of an inheritance or an insurance payout, legal settlement, tax refund, something, anything. And this could possibly be one of those times when it happens, just because Mars is a very energizing planet. It's in your second house, in Scorpio. It's directly across from that eighth house. So it could actually, do something along those lines. But having Venus now in Sagittarius in your third house of your everyday life, your neighbors, neighborhood, the places where you would normally go throughout the course of your day, it's your siblings, cousins, it's communication and travel house. This is regular postal mail, email, voicemail, text message, phone call, anything. And having Venus here just means that your encounters, let's say throughout your day, even if you're just going to the grocery store or something, are very pleasant, and you could actually get some something nice in the mail, I would have to say, because it's due to your birthday. A card, an actual physical card, not an e-card, an actual, happy birthday card in the mail. Okay. Let's see here. Now, 3 planets, like the outer planets from Jupiter through Pluto, were all retrograde last month, but 3 planets turned direct this month. Okay, so Pluto turns direct on the 6th. Saturn, Pluto in Capricorn, okay, in your 4th house. Now, Saturn in Aquarius in your 5th house turns direct on the 10th, and Jupiter is also in Aquarius in your 5th house. It turns direct on the 18th, and Mercury in Libra in your 1st house turns direct also on the 18th. So this Aquarius in your 5th house with Jupiter and Saturn, your 5th house of romance, creativity, children, gambling, speculation, entertainment of any kind, amusements of any kind. If this area in your life has felt like it's been on hold or stalled, or there wasn't anything happening here, or even a lot of times, when Saturn's here by itself, I always tell people that you would say something like, or feel like saying something like, I dare you to make me have fun. Okay, because sometimes when Saturn's here, it's boring. It's really boring. You do the same thing all the time. And being this is the house of romance, so you could be with someone, maybe you've been with them for a long time, they're starting to bore you to tears, or whatever it is you guys do for fun is it's boring anymore. But you have Jupiter here at the same time that kind of alleviates that a little bit and brings in something a little bit more fun or imaginative, anything. Let's try something new. Let's try something different. Okay, so maybe that's what will happen once these planets kick in. When they turn direct, it's not immediate. So you have to give it a little bit of time to kick in there, and maybe your love life or whatever it is that you do, maybe a creative project that you were working on that you've been stalled or stumped on, maybe it gets a breath of fresh air, or something or other. But that'll happen sooner or later. And having Pluto go direct in your 4th house of your home life, your family, the people you live with, the actual physical place where you live. There's been an awful lot of changes going on here, just having Pluto here all these years. A lot of times it's I don't know, just it's like maybe you feel someone else, I don't know, is pulling the strings as far as where you live. Maybe you really have to rely on them or depend on them. in order to live there. It could be all kinds of things, but there's been an awful lot of changes going on in your family life or your home life, wherever it is that you live. Fourth house is also your personal life, too. Okay, so the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Libra on the 5th, 6th, and 7th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Aries, and those dates are the 18th, 19th, and 20th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, any kind of speculation or gambling, and anything to do with children is the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. The best time, those dates are the 1st and 2nd. Okay, for romance and fun. The 1st, 2nd, 13th, 14th, 15th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. Okay, the best time for money is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The best time for your career is the 25th, 26th, and 27th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 9th, 10th, 11th, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for October. Be sure to check out my weekly forecast. I want to thank you for supporting my channel. You guys really help it to grow by subscribing and even donating if you have in the past. I thank you very, very much. Check out my Ask Me a Question in the description box below. There's a link. There's also a link to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done, because this is just a general forecast. So if you wanted something more specific, you would have to have your chart done. Okay, so check out my weekly forecast, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.